Smoked biscuits and gravy. These are going to be good. Welcome back to Heat of the Drum. My name is Steve. Today we're doing smoked biscuits and gravy, and this one is going to be good. First thing we need to do is get our ingredients for our sausage ready. What I have here is 2 pounds of pork sausage. So let's go ahead and get that in the bowl. So we're going with some fresh ingredients today. What I have here is 2 tablespoons of fresh sage, 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme, and this is about a half of an onion that I'm just going to chop up into some chunks here because it's all going to go into this little chopper right here. So we'll just get it like that. Just going to chop it up a little bit. Just like that. And now let's load this chopper up. Let's get our onion in there. A little windy out here today. Let's go ahead and get our sage in there and our thyme in there also. Just get this to go in without spilling it everywhere. And what I'm going to do is mince this up pretty fine. And that'll work. And you'll end up with something like that. All right, so we got our onion, sage, and thyme mixture right here. Let's go ahead and get that in with our meat. And get all that goodness out of there. And what we're going to add to that is 2 teaspoons of kosher salt, 1 teaspoon of ground pepper, 3/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper flake, and a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. And then we're going to come in with a 1/2 teaspoon of just minced garlic right out of the jar. And let's get in there with our hands and get this all incorporated. Once it's all incorporated, it'll look like that. We'll go ahead and just get us a pan, and we'll just dump it right out on the pan. And then what we're going to do is just form this into a loaf, just like a meatloaf. And what I like to do is just even mine out. Just like that. That'll work. Now this will go back in the fridge and hang out for an hour. All right, so we got our meat in the fridge. That's going to hang out for an hour. Let's go ahead and work on getting this drum going. All right, and as you can see, I got my chimney ready and my charcoal basket ready. The only thing we need to do now is add some wood chunks. And today, We're going with hickory. So let's get some in there. All right, we got the chimney going. A few minutes, we'll be dumping those hot coals in there and working on getting this drum up to temp. Our target temp today is 275, and I'll bring you back once I start dumping and working on getting this thing dialed in. Go ahead and get our restrictor plate in. Bowl of hot water. I'm a big believer in adding moisture to the drum. And tonight we need 2 levels. So we're getting in both of our other grates. All right, it's been about 7 minutes. We're going to go ahead and get the lid on. And I'd like to just take a second and thank everybody who's liked and subscribed and been watching the videos. I appreciate every one of you for doing that. And we're going to keep these videos coming. It's time. Our sausage, it's been hanging out in the fridge for an hour. So what we're going to do here is get our meat probe in there right from the get-go. And the only thing I'm going to do here is just quickly pack this together, make sure it's nice and tight, and it looks pretty good. I'm going to grab our probe, and we want to come in about halfway, so we'll come in about like this. Go ahead and get our lid off and get this on. I'm going to reach in here, and we're going to just get this top shelf out, and we'll get him right in the center. Lost our probe, so we'll get him back in where he goes, just like that. And we'll get that back on. And go ahead and get our lid on. All right, the meat is on. We're going to give it 1 hour. At 1 hour, we're going to get our gravy mixture prepped and get that on. I'll see you then. We are 1 hour in. Right now, our sausage is 115. We got to get to 165, so we got a ways to go yet. But now is the perfect time to get our gravy on and let it start getting some smoky goodness flavor in the gravy itself. Our target temp for our drum was 275. Right now we're 250. So we're a little low, but I'm not worried about it. It's climbing. Let's go ahead and make the gravy. This is so simple. I have here 4 12-ounce cans of evaporated milk. And you want to shake these up really good, which I already have these others. So go ahead and get those open, and we'll just go ahead and dump all 4 cans in. To that, I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of coarse pepper and a half a teaspoon of just regular salt. And we'll get that stirred in. And we're going to pick up a lot of flavor out of the drum smoker itself. And once we add in the sausage, that's going to take this to the next level. That should be good right there. And if you notice, I have 2 tins tonight that I'm working with. I'm just doing that for a little bit more stability. So let's go ahead and get this on the drum. Just like that. Okay, the gravy's on. So now we're going to stir every 45 minutes. And you'll notice it'll develop a little bit of a skin on top. Don't worry about it. Stir it in. That'll just add flavor back into that gravy. We're going to continue to stir every 45 minutes until our meat hits 165. At 165, the meat's coming off. We're going to crumble it, and we're going to put it right back in that gravy. I'll see you then. There we hit it. We're 165. Go ahead and shut that off. And our target temp was 275. Right now we are 279. And I know some of you guys are curious, so I'm just showing you there. We are 279 and our meat's 165. Now we did stir twice. Like I said, every 45 minutes we stirred until the meat was done. So now we're going to get the meat off and we're going to not let it sit. We're going to crumble it right away. And then it's going right back in this gravy and right back on this smoker. Here we go. Go ahead and momentarily get this off. Go ahead and get this top grate out. Let's go ahead and get a read on our meat here. Oh yeah, 171. Yeah, we're for sure there. 166. We are there. It's coming off. Get our thermometer out of there. And we're just going to reach in and grab this guy. And look at that. Man. Gravy's going to go back on. Not worried about stirring him just yet. Look at that. I could eat it just the way it is. But we're going to crumble it. Look how juicy. Oh man. We're going to quickly crumble this and get it right in to that gravy. Oh, it smells good. And we don't want any big chunks, so we want to make sure we get this kind of really broke down. And that's all broken down. And like I said, the gravy will develop a little bit of a skin. Don't worry about that. Just keep mixing it in. And it'll break down and add flavor in there. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and get all this meat into that gravy. And we're going to work fast. Now we're going to stir this. And what I have here is 2 tablespoons of cornstarch and 4 tablespoons of water. So I'm just going to add that to the cornstarch. I'm going to stir it up and get it dissolved. And this is going to act as a thickening agent. And we're going to add that into our gravy and get that stirred in there. And we're going to get this back on. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open this damper some. And what I did there was I increased my damper because now I want to go up over 300 degrees on this smoker. We want to get this gravy really hot and get the drum ready for putting our biscuits on, which are not ready to go on just yet. We're going to set our timer for 30 minutes. We're going to give this a stir, see how things are going. At that time, we're going to get our biscuits out and start letting them get room temperature, get them into our cast iron pan, and have them ready to go. I'll see you in 30 minutes. One quick thing, you've seen me using this Thermal Pro Lightning Instant Read, which I really like this thing. It works really good. If anybody's interested in getting one of these, I will have a link in my description with a 15% discount code. And if you use that link, I'll get a small commission and that'll help out the channel. So I appreciate anybody who does that. So check out the description. But I'll see you in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Let's give this stuff a stir. Okay, we're going to give that another 30 minutes and then we're going to stir. But in the meantime, let's get our biscuits ready. So now we're going to let that go another 30 minutes. And right now the drum, remember I said we wanted to be up over 300. Right now we are 309. So that's looking really good. Let's go ahead and get our biscuits ready to go. Now what I did is I just took my cast iron pan and I wiped it with some good old-fashioned Crisco. So that'll take care of that from anything sticking. And what I have here is just some Pillsbury Grand's Southern Homestyle biscuits. Now I'll bring you in so you can see these. And here they are. And all my friends overseas who maybe can't get their hands on something like this, just Google a Homestyle Southern biscuit recipe and make them from scratch. You could do the same concept. Let's go ahead and get these in this pan. And here we go. There's 8 biscuits in one of these tubes. And what we're going to do is we're going to pack them in tight. I got 2 containers of these. We're not going to be able to use all of them, but probably about a tube and a half. And like I said, we're packing them in. We ain't messing around. Just like that. And you'll have about a half tube left, which you can just make in the morning to finish off the rest of this gravy. These are going to hang out while we're waiting for our gravy. And we got 20 minutes to go before we stir. I'll see you then. All right, the alarm just went off. It's been 30 more minutes. Let's go ahead and stir this again. And here we go. Oh yeah, look at this. Okay, we're going to take this gravy off momentarily. Go ahead and set our grate here to the side. And it's time to get these biscuits on. And we're going to get our gravy back on. It's not quite there yet. And get the lid back on. Going to set our timer for 30 more minutes. We'll stir the gravy again and check on them biscuits. Won't be long now. And 1. There it is. It's been 30 minutes. Let's stir this gravy. We'll take it off, get out the Instant Read ThermoPro, and check these biscuits. I like my biscuits to usually be around 200. So we're going to go ahead and check those and see where they're at. Here we go. And we're going to give that a nice stir. And it's definitely starting to thicken up, but it's not there yet. But we're going to take this off momentarily. Oh man, it's definitely starting to thicken. Let's go ahead and get it off and check these biscuits. And let's get the old ThermoPro in there and see where we're at. 185 on the inner one, 196, 197, we're close. I'm gonna let them go a few more minutes. All right, I'm going to give this about 10 more minutes, and we're going to check those biscuits, and I think they'll be ready to come off at that point. And we'll see how this gravy's doing. We are close. I'll see you then. It's been 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and get the lid off, stir the gravy again, and check on these biscuits one more time. Oh yeah, she's starting to bubble. Look at that. We are about 319 degrees in this drum smoker. Ooh-wee. Let's get this off. Let's go ahead and get in here and see what they're reading now. Oh yeah, we're 202. That's all I need to know. Those are coming off. Let's go ahead and grab those. Get our gravy back on for 10 more minutes. What I want to do is get these biscuits out of this cast iron pan because I don't want them to continue to cook. I like them where they're at, so I want to get them out. You can see, man, they're nice and golden. That's the way you want them, right there. Let's go ahead and get these out. Woo-wee, those are hot. There we go. Now let's get them. Man, those look good. Just like that. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to scoot them all closer together. Just like that. And I'm just going to take a towel and put over them and let them rest. And like I said, we got about 8 more minutes. We're going to be taking that gravy off. I'll see you then. All right. Gravy's coming off. We're going to give it a quick stir, and then we're going to grab it off of there. Here we go. Oh yeah, let's get it mixed. thoroughly. And you can see how it kind of is leaving a trail now through there. So this is really thickened up. Yes, this is looking really good. So this is going to come off right now. Here we go. And we're going to cover this gravy. We're going to let that sit for 15 minutes, and then we're eating. And here we go. Look at that. Thick, smoked sausage gravy. And one's not enough. We're putting 2 on there. And the thing about this gravy is the longer it sits, the thicker it gets. Let's go ahead and get a bite of this. Oh, wow, man. I'll tell you what. The smokiness from that drum smoker. Oh, man. Let's look at that. Oh, man. Let's get a bite of this. Those biscuits are perfect. Oh man, the smoky flavor. Let me do a quick recap. We made our meat mixture, got it in the fridge to hang out. Come out, got the drum smoker going, got it up to temp, got our meat on. Hour later, we put our gravy on. After that, we stirred every 45 minutes until our meat was done. Once the meat was done, we crumbled, instantly put it back into the gravy. And then we stirred every 30 minutes or so until we noticed that the gravy was getting where it needed to be. About that time, we prepped our biscuits. They'd been hanging out for a little bit. We got them on the smoker. Those cooked in about 40 minutes. Still stirring the gravy as we went along. And I'll tell you what, total cook time, about 5.5 hours. And you know, I think it's well worth it. The flavor you're going to get off this drum smoker. I'll show you guys again, man. Look at that. The biscuits turned out awesome. This is really good, guys. Yeah, fresh sage and thyme in there. Oh, man. You can do this too. Until I see you again the next time on Heat of the Drum.